Hey Steelers Nation! Before we dive into today's massive updates, let me remind you of something important. This team is working every single day to improve, to get healthier, and to put themselves in the best position possible to bring great results back to Pittsburgh. So if you appreciate the effort this squad is making, and if you appreciate the work we do here keeping you updated every single day, hit that like button right now. It helps the channel grow and pushes Steelers news to more fans just like you. All right, family, let's talk football. So first things first, something we didn't want to hear heading into Week 22. Alex Highsmith has officially been listed as doubtful for Sunday's matchup versus the Chicago Bears. Earlier in the week, things looked promising. Highsmith was a limited participant on the second day of practice, which usually means a player is trending upward. But the team updated his status, and right now the expectation is that he's unlikely to suit up. Highsmith is coming off a stretch where he was absolutely on fire, 8 total pressures and 4 sacks across weeks 9 and 10. He was finally looking like the version of himself who has been one of the most underrated edge rushers in the entire NFL. But then, the injury bug hit again. This is something totally new for Highsmith. In his first 4 seasons, he did not miss a single game he was slated to start. Now, here in year 5, he's missed 6 of Pittsburgh's first 10 games, and the momentum that made him such a dangerous presence opposite T.J. Watt has been interrupted again and again. The frustrating part? Every time he returns, we're reminded of how good he actually is. Every time he's gone, we're reminded of how much the defense benefits when he's healthy. Now, the good news, and it's real, this Steelers linebacker room might be the deepest in the NFL, and honestly, one of the deepest the franchise has had in the past decade. Think about it. Nick Herbig is playing the best football of his young NFL career. Jack Sawyer has stepped up in huge moments. And of course, T.J. Watt is still T.J. Watt, a generational force, a future Hall of Famer, a nightmare for every offensive coordinator. This depth is the only reason the Steelers haven't suffered dramatically whenever Highsmith misses time. They've been able to rotate, mix packages, adjust alignments, and still create pressure. But make no mistake, not having Highsmith against the Bears hurts, especially with Justin Fields' mobility and Chicago's ability to escape the pocket. Highsmith's discipline and closing speed are big assets in those matchups. While Highsmith trending downward is disappointing, the Steelers did get some good news elsewhere. Jaylen Warren is on track to return after missing last week, and Darius Slay is expected to be back as well. Both players are huge additions. Warren brings explosion, pass-catching ability, and toughness. Slay brings experience, IQ, and leadership to the secondary. James Pierre stepped up nicely last week, but let's be real, having Slay back changes the whole defensive structure. This team needs to get healthy and stay healthy as the playoff race heats up. And when you're the highest-paid defense in the entire NFL, it's time for that investment to show results consistently. Now let's talk about the story that could explode this offseason. The Pittsburgh Steelers, yes, your Steelers, could once again have a chance to land Brandon Aiyuk. Remember this? The Steelers were inches away from trading for Aiyuk right before the 2024 season. They wanted him, he wanted the deal to happen, but at the last minute, he chose to stay in San Francisco and sign that massive 4-year, $120 million extension. That seemed like the end of the story. Well, apparently not. According to Diana Russini from The Athletic, the 49ers and Aiyuk are headed for a breakup, and it's looking permanent. Aiyuk has missed meetings, skipped team activities, and has fallen completely out of communication with the organization, and has not played a single snap this season due to ACL, MCL, and meniscus injuries. The 49ers have now voided the guarantees in his 2026 contract year, recovering nearly $25 million. Aiyuk reportedly does not intend to file a grievance. That paves the path for a much cleaner exit.
Basically, the 49ers hold all the rights, but the relationship is broken. Here's where the story gets interesting. Pittsburgh loves Aiyuk's skill set. He would immediately become the best route runner on the roster. He fits perfectly with the offense the Steelers want to run. But he hasn't played all year. He's coming off multiple ligament injuries, and his behavior, skipping meetings, avoiding communication, raises real concerns. This is what makes it tricky. On one hand, you could get a 1,300-yard elite wide receiver 1 at a discount. On the other hand, you could be inheriting a locker room issue and an injury gamble. The Steelers dodged a bullet last year, not because Aiyuk isn't talented, but because he wasn't physically ready. Now they'll have to ask themselves, is the reward worth the risk? My prediction? If the price is right, Pittsburgh will absolutely consider it. Late in the week, panic started to spread across Steelers Nation when Cameron Hayward, the legendary anchor of the defensive line, suddenly popped up on the injury report. At first, it didn't seem like much. The team listed him as a non-participant due to rest on the first 2 reports of the week. That's normal for a 15-year veteran who still plays at an elite level. But then came the surprise. Hayward was given an official ankle injury designation on the final report, and suddenly his status changed to questionable. And to make things worse, reporters spotted him wearing a walking boot in the locker room. That's when the alarms started going off. Steelers fans were thinking, is this serious? Is he actually hurt? Are we losing him for the Bears game? But hold on, because the tide turned quickly. Penn Live's Nick Farabaugh, who has been dialed in on Steelers injury updates all season, reported that despite the ankle concern, Hayward is expected to play in Chicago. Yes, you heard that right. Even with the boot, even with the questionable designation, even at 36 years old, Cam Hayward is still on track to suit up on Sunday. We have to take a second to appreciate what Cam Hayward has been for this franchise. He has played 15 or more games in every full season of his career except for 2. 2016, torn pectoral, and 2023, groin injury. And now, in year 15, he's still out there fighting through pain, refusing to sit, refusing to slow down. He just hit 221 career games, breaking a tie with Hall of Famer Mike Webster, and now sitting alone at number 2 in Steelers history. The only player ahead of him? Ben Roethlisberger with 249. And if we're being honest, Hayward absolutely has a legitimate shot to catch him if he keeps going. This man is the definition of Pittsburgh toughness, the heartbeat of the defense, the guy who embodies what "here we go" really means. Assuming Hayward plays, which remains the strong expectation, the Steelers will once again field a fully capable interior defensive line against the Chicago Bears.
Despite losing some depth pieces this year, like Daniel Ekuali's torn ACL in Week 8 and Isaiah Loudermilk's ankle injury from Week 2 that still hasn't cleared his return window, the main trio has remained steady. Here's what the interior rotation should look like. 1. Cameron Hayward, veteran anchor, leader, tone setter. His presence changes everything, from technique alignment to gap discipline to pre-snap communication. Hayward is the guy holding the foundation together. 2. Keanu Benton, the young monster. Benton has quietly become one of the most consistent players on the defense. He's been healthy all year, disruptive, and continues to show signs of becoming a long-term star. 3. Derek Harmon, the rookie who keeps flashing. Since returning in Week 3, Harmon has played in every game, and the coaching staff keeps increasing his usage. His combination of size, mobility, and raw power gives Pittsburgh a dynamic option behind the starters. 4. Depth contributors: Yaya Black, Logan Lee, and Isezi Otomewo. Yaya Black has had the biggest role of the 3, showing real growth each week. Logan Lee and Otomewo have remained available and reliable rotational bodies when needed. This is not the deepest DL group Pittsburgh has ever had, but it is a group that has shown durability, discipline, and steady improvement each week. And with Chicago coming into this game with a mobile quarterback and a physical run game, having Cam Hayward on the field is absolutely crucial. The Bears' offense has completely changed with Justin Fields returning. Chicago leans heavily on quarterback-designed runs, zone read, misdirection, pocket movement, and keeping defenses off balance. To stop that, you need discipline up front. You need a veteran who reads blocks instantly, someone who diagnoses play action before it develops, someone who refuses to get fooled by motion or eye candy. That's Cam Hayward. Without him, Pittsburgh's interior becomes younger, greener, and far more vulnerable to Chicago's misdirection-heavy approach. With him, the defense becomes smarter, calmer, and harder to manipulate. This isn't just about production. This is about leadership. This is about communication. This is about identity. So, let's recap today's major headlines. Alex Highsmith is doubtful for Week 22. A big loss. The linebacker depth continues to shine. Warren and Slay returning brings huge boost. And the Steelers might once again be in play for Brandon Aiyuk. Now I want to hear from you, the heart and soul of Steelers Nation. Would you want the Steelers to take another shot at Brandon Aiyuk? Is he worth the risk, or should Pittsburgh stay away? Let me know everything in the comments. I respond to as many as I can. And before you go, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next big update. Thanks for watching. Here we go, Steelers!